Okay. Penultimate one, Jonathan Kabat. How do we sell without promoting consumerism and sell out Earth? How might we frame every offering as an act of reciprocity, sending and receiving benefits for all of life rather than hoarding?
Oh man, what a gorgeous question.
Right?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, that's probably worth saying right off the top. I don't know. I'm just, I'm just, a white guy from Edmonton, Alberta, who's been doing this for a while. I don't have the grand answers on any of this, but you've asked, so I can wonder about it out loud and see what I come to. Right. So how do we sell without promoting consumerism and sell out the earth? Well, I think it's important, first of all, it's just to make the distinction between selling and consumerism. That certainly they've been linked in our mind by the way things have gone. But if we go back into the roots of these things, you can start to see where things went funny. So the word selling right now, it kind of has, I mean, even until very recently, I still have a bit of reaction to the word, but I understand it differently now. The way it's landed for me, and I think for so many people, is selling is strong arming people, convincing them, applying pressure, manipulative tactics to coerce them, to manipulate them to do what you want them to do, which is to buy your product or service, whether or not it's a fit. And we're all probably against that. But etymologically, the word sell basically just, I mean, Mark Silver did the deep diving into this. What he came up with is it's basically to share something is what selling is. It's to share something in response to a request, to give something up, to offer something in response to a request. So already now we're in a different ground than this manipulative approach. And consumerism, of course, is, this, we're just, I suppose consumerism is really founded in a worldview that looks at the world as full of resources and not relatives. It's an inanimist worldview that the world is not alive and deserves no particular respect. And it also comes from um, deep, deep, deep cultural dislocation and trauma that leaves us kind of hungry ghosts where we're trying to fill this hole all the time with the world. And instead of being in a state of reciprocity with the world. So, so much of this comes down to really honing in on who is my work a fit for and who isn't it a fit for? And making sure that our intention in every interaction is to get to the truth of if this is a fit or not. And that can include somebody might want to consume your work and consume you, PS, in the process. I mean, the West in general and the modern world, even more broadly, is unkind to elders and teachers and just tends to consume them. Here's the teacher of the week, and we chew them up and we spit them out. And then we blame them for their bad behavior, which we created because of how we were with them. It's a weird, messed up dynamic. We put them on this pedestal, which humans shouldn't be on in that way. And this, of course, does things to them and has them behave badly. Got to break the circuit of that. But we consume them and we consume a lot of things. So if we see that somebody is got this hungry ghost consumptive thing, we may just need to pause it and say, look, I don't have what you need. Or that's the thing we need to talk about.
Mhm.
Yeah. And also that we don't consume people as customers, that we don't just look at people as numbers for us to throw in our sack and move along. Um, so there's this. If you also search on my YouTube, just search Tad Hargrave activism, and you'll see there's a few videos I've done about how do we balance business with activism. I also wrote a piece recently on my Substack about on culture versus coaching versus culture work, which may have some relevant thoughts here. But a lot of this comes down to how do we speak about our business on our website? How do we onboard people? How do we, the importance of slowing down the the conversation so that a conversation can actually happen and it doesn't just become a pitch to which they react one way or the other. And sharing, I would have a My Philosophy page where you speak to this explicitly. And then you do your best to implement it in the systems. But so I could imagine it's like, look, before we talk about working together, here's the stuff I want you to read and just see if you're in alignment with it. Yeah. And if not, no problem. And if you are, then we'll talk and he'll be the next step. And we're going to discern if this is a fit. Now, if it's a product that we're talking about, my great uncle was a salesperson and he worked for, I think, was it the Bay or Sears catalog? Anyways, he would travel around. He was the traveling salesperson. He'd go into shops and the shops would sometimes say, okay, get us, I don't know, 20 more cans of tomatoes and 15 more. But he said, whoa, whoa. So I was just in the back. You already have 20 cans of tomatoes. You don't need them. He would specifically stop people from buying things they didn't need. And so the trust he built up with his client, and eventually when he go to the shops, people just say, yeah, just go in the back and just tell us what we need. They trusted him entirely to fill the order because he wasn't taking advantage of them. He wasn't being predatory about it. And that's all I have to say. It's of course, this comes down to pricing too. What do you charge? I've done pay what you can on all my live workshops as a way of making things accessible, and that's felt really good for me. Other people do pay what you can on their products. Other people do pay what you can on their one-on-one coach. And there's, and I have a whole ebook on this called Pay What You Can that you can check out on my website. Yeah, that's all I've got. And Jonathan, if you have a follow-up question for next month, I would absolutely love to hear it. Thank you so much.
Lovely, thanks. I didn't want to stop you in the middle of such an interesting question.